Konnichiwa and salam Mesra from me, Aida. Thank you for dropping in and for tuning in to my session as I share with you my take of an indigenous Semai tribe folktale from Malaysia. Before I begin, I would like to pay my respect to Mother Earth and acknowledge the indigenous people in the world, the first people of the land. As a choreographer and a performance maker, my works draws me back into searching for my connection to my past and my ancestors. I use my body and my expression as a vehicle to tap upon the semangat, which is our life force, our energy or spirit that I like to believe is our guide that leads me from the challenges or illusions of the world to connect to my true self, that leads me from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, from mortality towards immortality of self-realization. A life force that somehow guides us towards understanding our presence in the reality today. This is what interests me as an artist, is to trace this life force which is somehow lost, and it's a big interest for me to recover this loss. And I see this loss through the story of Bah Luj and the 7Bataks, and I like to recover it by interpreting it through the eye of a woman. Bah Luj and the 7Bataks is a gruesome and violent story which I chose because it's a good sample of a folk tale where time and time again the women and the children are seen as victims, where they're killed and tortured because they don't take heed of warning from their husbands or the male community, and it's also always the male hero that returns to save the day. And yes, I chose the story because I would like to reinterpret it and retell the story from the perspective of a woman. So Bah Luj is a semi-heroine figure, gifted with supernatural powers, wisdom and spirituality that has been passed to her from her ancestors, the wise women. They're seen farming, hunting, trapping and fishing, where Bah Luj, her husband and son, together doing their everyday life activities in the woods and living in the challenges of the jungle. Bah Luj leaves her husband and son to go hunting for meat in the forest. She warns her husband and son not to bathe at the river, but they both fail to heed Bah Luj's warning. 7 evil Batak people paddled upstream. They spotted Bah Luj's husband and son. Subsequently, the Batak caught, roasted and ate Bah Luj's husband and child. In this story, Bah Luj's husband and son had been eaten up by the Bataks, hanged the husband and child on a tree, killed them, sliced up their bodies, sprinkled salt onto their corpses and ate them. After eating, they gathered up the bones and fell asleep under a tree nearby. Bah Luj found them and attempted to kill the Bataks with her blowpipe. She was stopped by Gunik, the spirit guide, the wise spirit guide, who advised Bah Luj to take full revenge on the Bataks by making a fool of them first. Bah Luj invites the Bataks to a feast and squeezes the juice of the buah perah, a fruit in the woods, onto the meat of the sika, monkey dish, served. After the feast, the Bataks became dizzy and Bah Luj quickly kills them with a knife. She takes the bones of her husband and child and says an incantation over it. Her husband and child's life are restored. And so is the good ending and the change. I do understand that the act of storytelling is to enable us to understand ourselves, our past and our environment, and from that we heal. It is a tool for empowerment and healing. And so for me, it's very important that time and time again, folk tales that always reveals the heroic male man needs sometimes a reinterpretation. So knowing that there's ritual cannibalism and capturing of Orang Asli in those times for slavery, stories and storytelling aided survival and was a response to dangers or threats in the environment, and it teaches the society to take care and educate them, as well as to heal them, to empower them with hope and courage, knowing the challenges out there, that, they can rely on nature. They can rely on this wise woman to return and guide them well. All they need to do is drop in and trust and follow the guide and follow the lead. And they will understand the mortality and the immortality of self-realization of our lives today. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you've enjoyed it.